Hello?
Hey, yo, Cutter, what up, man?
What's up, APT? What's going on?
Yo, man, I got a problem.
What's that?
I got these two girls I'm seeing, right?
Uh-huh.
They're both just so good to me. I can't decide which one I should be with.
Man, I'm going through the same thing, man. I got two girls that'll do anything for me.
Oh, boy.
It might sound crazy, baby, believe me. Got two hot ladies, they both loving me. And I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. But I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. Yo, I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. I can't have them both, so I gotta choose one. Yo, I got a hot chick living on the north side. I got a hot chick living on the south side. I got a problem cause I can't tell who to choose. They both seem like they both down to ride or die. My north side chick love to cook a brother grub. My south side chick love to give me back rubs. My north side chick down to pay a brother's tab. My south side chick always down for touch and grab. My north side chick knows how to ride the stick. My south side chick love to drive me in the whip. My north side chick loves to get all freaky. Yeah. My south side chick loves to get all freaky. Woo! They both like dress up and don't give a crap if their hair gets messed up. This is my confession. I'm just about ready to settle down, but I can't decide who I'm supposed to choose now. Oh! It might sound crazy, baby, believe me. Got two hot ladies, they both loving me. And I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. But I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. Yo, I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. I can't have them both, so I gotta choose one. Oh!
I got a hot chick living on the east side. I got a hot chick living on the west side. I got an issue, I don't know who to choose. They like me, and I like them both too. My east side chick is a white girl. My west side chick is a black girl. My east side chick likes to have sex. My west side girl got some big breasts. My east side chick freaky as she wanna be. My west side chick always protecting me. My east side chick take away all my stress. My west side chick, she don't take no mess. They both so mature, they both so gorgeous. I like both of them cause they not boring. But let me slow it down, I can only choose one. I can't have them both, so I gotta pick one. It might sound crazy, baby, believe me. Got two hot ladies, they both loving me. I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. But I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. Yo, I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. I can't have them both, so I gotta choose one.
Hey, yo, I tried to be a player, but the truth is, a brother never ever been this ruthless. And if they ever find out I would do this, I'd probably end up with a broken jaw, toothless. Ow.
I used to do the same thing a long time ago, but it's time for me to let that player stuff go. Cause I got two hot girls just to choose from. Yo, how you gonna decide which one to lose, son?
Man, both girls got different stuff about in my life, but I gotta dump one tonight, cause it just seems right.
I know what you mean, I want both girls in my life, but it would be wrong to have two girls for a wife.
Oh man, what are we supposed to do?
When you got two good girls, how do you choose?
I don't know, it shouldn't be as hard as this.
And if we choose the wrong one,
we'll all be pissed. Oh! It might sound crazy, baby, believe me. Got two hot ladies, they both loving me. And I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. But I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. Yo, I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. I can't have them both, so I gotta choose one. Oh!
Yeah. We're gonna have to dump one of them, man.
I know, man, it's gonna be hard, y'all.
Well, I don't know. You figure out who you gonna get rid of.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna have to have my conversation on this side, man.
Alright, man. I hate to be the heartbreaker, though.
I'll call you tomorrow, see what's up.
That sounds good. Take care, man.
Alright. Peace.
Thank y'all so much for coming in. Thank y'all for joining us tonight on Kicking It with Kirk.
Thanks for tuning in to the Introvert Dating Success Show.
Welcome to our second edition of Diversity in Lighting.
Tonight's video is super off the cuff.
The first question of the day plain and simple, is marriage hard?
We're going to be answering a question from a guy. His current girlfriend has been communicating with a toxic ex-boyfriend.
How do we get BIPOCs into these positions of power?
I want to talk about performative activism and why it's so harmful to the Black Lives Matter movement.
So let's dive in it, man.
Revolution. If you don't like what we doing, if you don't want to rock with the NFAC, that's cool. Form your own militia.
There is a playbook for this shit. It's not like we have to create it from scratch just because now we're all digital.
We need people who are there on the computer and off of it. You have to be there for the good and the bad. You can't just be there when it's most convenient for you.
If they was really about what they was about, they would have been at all the formations.
But you need to make sure also that Black ideas and Black people creating culture get funded.
It's not just who we see on stage, it's those that they point to at their curtain call.
Listen, have the conversation, be humble, admit what mistakes were made.
These chat rooms can go, boy. This thing has me rolling. Somebody did say, what about them women who be proposing to their men? Should their men take their last name? Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you want to be a part of this fight, you're going to have to learn to be uncomfortable.
Revolution.
It's the Introvert Dating Success Podcast, the show for introverted men that's all about learning how to attract beautiful women and still get your precious alone time. And now, here's your host, dating coach and fellow introvert, Harry Wilmington.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Introvert Dating Success Show, courtesy of introvertdatingsuccess.com. I'm your host, as always, Harry Wilmington. This is the show, and that is the website where you can go to learn how to date as your authentic introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. And by the way, for those of you that are new to the show, we do this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at protestparty.tv. So feel free to go there, talk with us in the chats, and get some valuable dating advice. So today's show, we're mainly going to be talking about the 13 bad conversation habits that men typically have with women. And I think it's important for you to understand that when you're talking and communicating with a woman, even if you're like the nicest guy or you're a guy that's going to be respectful and kind, you could still be messing up your chances with a woman simply by not being aware of these conversation mishaps that you might be doing. And just my observation of men out there, of guys that, regularly talk to me just as friends or whatever, or guys that are talking to girls, I recognize that oftentimes we have very, very bad habits that come into play that, unbeknownst to you, might be one of the reasons why women are not staying around. So I want to make sure that you're aware of this. And so that is what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to get into that. But first, obviously, we're on protestparty.tv. There's been a lot of protests happening with last night's shooting in Wisconsin of Jacob Blake by the cops. For those that are not familiar with the story, dude was getting into his car and the cop pulled up and literally was holding on to him and then started shooting at him. And now he's in the hospital fighting for his life. And so this is not a political show, as I always say, but there was an incident that I had one time that I actually ended up dumping a girl over a racial profiling incident that happened to me. The short version of this story is my friend, I think I've told this story on the show before, but this kind of correlates with what's actually happened right now. I had a friend come from out of town and he rented this really nice Lexus. We went out to Vegas. I live in California. We went out to Vegas for the weekend, and long story short, we partied all night with a friend of his who was this white woman. We took her back to her place to drop her off in the morning. As we're leaving, we get halfway to my aunt's house because my aunt lives in Vegas, and I realized her purse is still in our car. So we had to go back to her very, very nice neighborhood and drop off the purse. So my friend gets out of the car. It's 8 a.m. now. He goes, drops off the purse. He gets back into the car. We drive up the street. We make a complete stop. We take a left turn, and the cop lights come on. And so we get about maybe 100 feet, and my friend slows down the car and stops the car. So this cop gets out of the car and goes up to my friend's window, and he rolls down the window. Immediately, without warning, the cop starts asking questions. So what are you guys doing here? My friend's like, well, we're on vacation. I decided we want to go out to Vegas for the weekend. So that's what we did. Then the cop's like, well, your license plate says California. Why are you out here? He's like, once again, we're on a break and we're visiting. He's like, oh, your car looks really, really nice. Like, are you guys selling drugs? Are there any guns in your car? Et cetera, et cetera. Just the typical, unfortunately, typical questions that black men like us get asked in these situations. So inevitably, after like 5 minutes of questioning, my friend gives the cop his license. And so the cop goes to actually check the license to make sure it's legit and, to do a background check or whatnot. And we're just sitting there like, did we not stop all the way at the sign, whatever? Anyway, the cop comes back, hands my friend his license, and it looks like he's about to ask us more questions. But then my friend, who was in the military, so he was on break from doing military stuff, takes out his military ID. He gives it to the cop. The cop takes one look at the ID, takes a look at my friend, and then gives him the ID back and says, you guys have a nice day. And then he walks off. And that was the end of that particular conflict, which kind of sucks. So we get home later that night, and I'm still kind of pissed off from everything. I'm tired because we didn't sleep all night. And I was supposed to meet up with this girl that I was dating the next day to have like her roommate was going out of town. So we were going to have just like a night to ourselves and like really make it special, whatever. So when I got back, I tried to hit her up, but she didn't pick up her phone. And then I guess my phone was on silent and she called me back and sounded really mad on the phone. Like, I was just trying to call you back. Like, geez, my God, you could pick up the phone. And by the way, this is what I talk about when I say you want to try to pick women that have a good temperament and aren't always in like a negative mood, because that literally affects everything, including their response to when you don't pick up the phone. So I called her right back and said, yeah, like I didn't hear my phone go off. What's up? And she was like, well, I was just trying to contact you because like, we were supposed to get together tomorrow. I want to make sure, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, yeah, it's cool. We're still going to get together tomorrow. It is what it is. So I hang up. And then she starts texting me like, I just really, you really sounded some kind of way on the phone. And, I really don't appreciate what, and it wasn't even like there was a fight that had gotten started, but now there was a fight that was starting. So anyway, in the midst of this texting back and forth, now I say to her, hey, you know what? Like I've really had like a weird 24 hours. We got stopped by some a-hole cops that racially profiled us and whatever. And so this woman was half black, half Asian, but unbeknownst to me, or I guess I forgot the details, her dad was a cop. So when I said, oh, by the way, we got stopped by these a-hole cops, her response to me getting racially profiled as a black man, this is the response I got from a half black, half Asian woman, was, you shouldn't say all cops are a-holes. And I dumped her on the spot. Like I was like, you don't recognize, this is not just some passive incident. This is something that could have literally, if my friend had not had his military ID, who knows how long we would have been there? Who knows who would have stopped us? Who knows what could have happened to us in this situation? And your response is, but don't call them a-holes. Like really? After we got stopped clearly for doing nothing other than being black in a neighborhood that we allegedly shouldn't have been in? Like, no, she had to go. So I was like, you know what? This isn't going to work out. It's a wrap. So all that to say, guys, you want to make sure that you're getting with people that are lining up with your ideals, and more importantly, are going to support you at times when you're expressing that you're going through pain and struggle, as opposed to somebody that's going to try to be combative about your personal experience. So I just wanted to share that because that is some stuff that is happening today. I see somebody in the comments say the only drugs Harry looks like he'd have one of his ibuprofen. That's probably accurate. I try not to take anything because I like to remain healthy and drink water and stuff, and pray to God I don't have to take any vaccine for COVID when it comes out. But yeah, it's just crazy, man. Like people have all these different beliefs about things, but and it's funny because like, again, like being the daughter of a cop who's a black cop, I would at least assume that her dad had told her stories about even him being profiled as a police officer. Didn't happen. So just wanted to share that since all this protest stuff is going on today. And I think it's sad that this is still going on, and hopefully that'll be a situation that gets rectified very, very soon. But anyway, so on today's show, we're going to talk now about the various types of conversation habits that guys have that often are very, very, very bad. So I'm going to start this off by saying this. As men, we get taught that the number one way you can bond with a woman and to connect with a woman is to, in fact, converse with her, have conversations, get to know her, dive deep in, really get to hear her and listen to her. And, we're literal people, so we take this to heart. But even within that, I think there are a lot of bad habits that men bring over as a result of just having bad conversations in general, but men amongst themselves, to be really honest, have bad communication skills. Like men typically talk over other men. They're loud, they're brawny. They don't really want to listen to another guy because he wants to spit his opinion out there as soon as possible. And these are things that we unfortunately then transfer over to when we're trying to talk to women. And women typically are much better at the communication space because they talk in community. They're communal with each other. They want to make sure every woman gets heard. They want to legit really get to know these other women. So they'll sit there and listen to them and ask them follow-up questions and really dive into what it is they're going through, what their interests are, what they're trying to get out of life. And so I think in terms of communication, women typically have us beat. Now, with that said, I grew up around mostly women. It's after my dad died, it was my mom, my two aunts that lived with us for a while, my female cousins, my grandma. And because I grew up mostly around women, I kind of got a little bit of edge in terms of being great at communication. So even though I was anxious and I had a lot of other issues as it pertains to dating, the one thing that I was always very good at, aside from the talking fast things, I know that's not the best thing when you're trying to get to attract a woman, which is why you should be talking a lot slower when you're getting to know a lady. But in terms of my ability to actually communicate with women, to be able to understand when they're saying one thing, they might be saying other things, or there's other layers that most other men wouldn't read into. I've always been very, very good at that. And because I've been very good at that, it's always annoyed me to see when men talk to women, and then when the women get upset, the man doesn't know what he did. He's sitting there thinking, well, I was trying to say this, or I was doing this, or I thought I was talking about what you want me to talk about. I don't understand. And I'm looking at them like, you just don't get it. You just don't see. I'm just looking at you and seeing 3 or 4 things right now that I would be extremely annoyed at if you try to talk to me. And the sad part is, I'm not even talking about being rude. I'm not talking about calling her out of her name. I'm not talking about misinterpreting what she's saying. I'm talking about there are communication logistics that most men do that just are not great. And unfortunately, because of our egos, if somebody tries to tell us about these things, more often than not, we get insulted, or we do the whole, well, people should just accept me for who I am, and this is how I talk, and if they don't like it, then whatever. But you could think that way, but you will also push away a lot of women that would be willing to talk to you and actually want to have deeper conversations with you, but you have these habits in place that aren't really helping you. And so, I had a few of my own that I already knew that I wanted to talk about. I also did some research in a few articles. So I put together a concrete list of 13 bad conversation habits that typically most men have. And this isn't to say women don't have communication issues too. I think a lot of times they hear us as guys say stuff, and because in their communication world, they use a lot of passive language. So a woman might say, oh, I'm fine. And other women don't know that means no, that they're not fine. So when they talk to us, we might say, oh, I'm fine. And they're trying to read layers deep. And as guys, we know there's no deeper layers. We're saying the surface stuff that we're saying is exactly what we mean. But in terms of talking to women, in terms of various tactics and things that you need to be better at, I'm going to go over these habits so you will stop doing them. Because I think some of these things are things that you might be like, oh, I would never do that. Oh my God. But other things you might realize, oh crap, I actually do that. Could this be stopping women from wanting to talk to me? And it might very well be doing that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into those habits. All right. So this first habit is a major one. This is one that I notice time and time again. My guy friends do it, and this is what women do too. And it irks me every time I hear it, because people either don't seem to notice that they do it, or they, as much as they try to break out of this habit, they can't stop themselves. Okay, and it's this: it is turning what the other person says into something about yourself. And this is what we call equating your experiences. So, perfect example, okay? You're on a date with a girl and she says something like, well, you say, so tell me where you're from. And she says, oh, I'm from Alaska. And then your response would be, oh, Alaska, I've been there before. That's a great city. It's so great. Or you might say, oh, you're from Alaska. Oh, that's on the West Coast. I'm from the West Coast too. I'm from California, and I'm from LA, and I like doing X, Y, and Z. And this is a habit this is the number one most annoying habit that people have, is that they are always going to be able to turn a conversation that somebody else is trying to talk about into themselves. It runs the gamut. You could be saying, a girl could be saying, I just had lunch at Burger King. And then the guy will say, oh, Burger King, I like McDonald's. Or, oh, I just got a brand new laptop. It's a Mac. Oh, you got a laptop Mac? I got a iMac and it's a 27-inch and it's really, really big. And this is something that unequivocally annoys women across the board, because women are typically better at the whole, I'm going to ask this woman a question. She's going to say something. I'm going to ask follow-up questions. And then after like 2 or 3 follow-up questions, where I can let her talk even more, then I might interject like a way to transition, like, oh, that's great. I'm glad you're doing so well at work. I hope to be doing well too, blah, blah, blah. Like then they turn it over to themselves. But women typically have a better track record at doing follow-up questions and actually delving deep into what the other person said. Whereas us guys, we're usually such in the mode in our head about trying to impress the other person that when they say something, our goal is to try to either match that or beat it. But in the process, we end up like not doing the follow-up. So we just end up making a conversation about ourselves to where the woman's like, does he even care? Because like every time I start trying to mention something about me, he turns into something about him. So he must want to talk about him. And I've seen this with guys where like, I've seen a woman start talking about something and then the man turns it into something about him. And now the woman's asking him follow-up questions about a subject that she started because she thinks that she doesn't want to be rude. So we're going to just let him talk. And guys are so guilty of doing this so often. So for those of you guys that recognize you do this, try this, okay? Get into the habit of when you ask a person a question and they answer it, think of a minimum of 2 follow-up questions that correlate with what they just said before you turn it into yourself. I promise you, you will have women want to talk with you a lot longer just by doing this one simple thing, because I know it annoys the heck out of me, and I make it a point. And this isn't to say I'm not guilty of this, because even now, knowing this, there will still be times where I'm talking to a woman that I'm dating, and I'll be like, my first instinct is, I have something that relates to that. And I'm like, but I can't do that quite yet because it's going to be selfish. So let me ask her a follow-up. And then we're able to have a longer conversation that is more joyful to her because I'm actually making it about the both of us and not just me. So that's the first major bad habit that a lot of guys have. The second bad habit that men have is automatically having an opposite viewpoint on every single thing that the other person says. And I don't know why we do this, but it's something I've observed. So for example, the woman could be like, oh, something as simple as like, oh, the sky's blue. And the guy would be like, well, actually, it's not really blue. It's a composite of like rainbows and blah, blah, blah. And our eyes only take in the blue color. Or she could be like, man, I really had a good time at that movie last night. It was really, really great. And then the guy would be like, well, actually, I've seen better movies. For example, the prequel to this was a lot better because of X, Y, and Z. And so it becomes this thing where it's like the woman says something and the guy just has to, for some reason, have an opposing view. Now, I don't know if that's because as us men, we like to typically feel like we're the experts of stuff. And so one of the ways of showing our expertise is to downplay whatever the other person said to make our point seem more superior or to make it feel like we're going to teach this other person something. But it is a habit that I have noticed and I've seen women talk about and observe where it's like, man, he always says something against me. Like if I say, I want to go to the racetrack, he'll be like, no, we should do this instead. Like it's always an opposite. Why does it have to be an opposite? It is perfectly okay to agree with the point that a woman made or to agree with an idea that she's brought about in terms of whether it's an activity she wants to do or a thought process about something. Like you don't need to be opposite against every single thing because that does not make for a fun conversation for the woman that you are talking to. So that's number 2. The third bad conversation habit that guys have is being too negative. And this is a thing where I've noticed that growing up as kids and into our teen years, I recognize that a lot of people in their quest to become better communicators, they're trying to always think of, okay, how can I open a conversation and keep it going? And unfortunately, what I've observed is that most people, in order to do that, comment on stuff in a negative way. And this is a situation where, like, for example, a woman will ask you, oh, how was your day? And rather than picking out like the 3 or 4 things that were really good to start with, you'll think of 3 or 4 things that were the worst thing ever. So you might not say you got a promotion at work that day, or if you do, you won't start out with that. Instead, you'll start out with, oh man, well, first of all, the traffic was bad and I almost had to flick this guy off in traffic. Then I got to work and the door was stuck and I couldn't get it unjammed. So I had to go up the steps and there were long steps. And then my boss was just like yelling all day for nothing. And then when I was on the way home, I wanted to get food at my favorite restaurant and it closed down. And it's like this just whole negative thing. And to be fair, we've kind of been taught in society that like people want to talk. The easy way to talk to people is to put out your negative stuff, you know? And so men will do this. They'll have a woman that's all happy and say, hey, babe, like, you know, I was thinking we should like, you know, go to a movie. Oh, with the traffic in the movies and nothing really good's out right now. And I don't know. And it's just every single thing that the woman brings up results in this guy having a negative thought. And this is not something that you want to do if you're trying to build a positive feel from her towards you, because most women, well, we're excluding the women that want to have chaos and disorder in their lives, okay? The women that are like about having relatively good emotional health and having a positive relationship doesn't want a Doug Downer, because you're a guy, so not Debbie, but they don't want a Doug Downer to come around and every time they suggest something, they sound like Eeyore from freaking Winnie the Pooh. Well, you know, life's not that great. We can't go outside because of the virus, so my whole year's ruined. Like, that kind of person is not really fun to be around. And to be honest, guys, an introvert, you already have a limited amount of people that you want to be around in the first place. Don't chase the ones away that are around you by being negative all the time, because even when there's negative stuff happening, it's basically like this. You ultimately decide what your viewpoint's going to be on stuff, how you're going to react to it, and whether or not it's going to be a positive or negative thing. So it's not to say, for example, I don't ever have negative things happen ever, but when they do, I'm like, I don't want to stay in negativity. I want to focus on positive stuff. I want to talk about a hopeful future or talk about things that are going positive with projects that I'm working on. And those kind of conversations women enjoy having. The ones where I'd be like, oh, I just was down there and stuff happened and they didn't pay money and blah. Well, yeah, I get to vent it out, but I don't want to have them feel like I'm going to just vent and be negative every time I come around them, because that's not going to make them want to be around me if they're trying to be more of a positive person. So that's something to start noticing. Start noticing in your conversations how many times you first go to a negative thought or what you want to say something negative when somebody starts talking to you. Like, you'd be surprised. It really is like, I had to start observing this like maybe about 10 years ago. I had to really observe, okay, when I get into conversations, what is the first thing I feel like saying? Is it something positive or negative? And I found more often than not, it was like I was geared towards this negative stuff. I'm like, I don't want to be negative. Like, I want to be more positive. So but it's a focused exercise. When you start focusing on legitimately what you're saying and doing, you'll start to recognize these things when they first happen. You'll be like, oh, nope, don't say that negative thing. Can you rephrase this in a positive way? And you'll start to have better results. You'll start to feel better, and more positive stuff will start to happen, including women staying around a lot longer. Okay. So let's see. That's number 3. The fourth bad conversation habit that a lot of men have is constantly interrupting others. And this honestly plays into our ego of us guys wanting to be the experts and wanting to be the one that's like being the lead in the room. And yes, even introverts fall for this, where they will be talking because we spend all day by ourselves. We're researching different things, watching different videos, reading different books, and we have a lot of knowledge. So when we're talking to others, we want to just spit it out, regardless of if the person is in the middle of their sentence adding to the conversation. And yes, this is still something that I'm good at not doing that, but I still have to observe, okay, a person's talking and I'll catch myself being like, okay, they just said something. I want to respond to it right away, but don't let them finish. And part of this fear, honestly, the reason that we do this is because we fear that if we don't interrupt, we're going to forget our point. And that's as if our point is so great and that it's the best point ever, that it just has to be heard at that moment. But women take notice. Women take notice when they're trying to say something, or even like, you know, a woman might be trying to say something positive to you, like, hey, babe, I just want to say you did a great job on this thing. And, oh, thanks, babe, blah, 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 blah. She didn't even get to finish her compliment, you know? And so, yeah, guy, like, recognize that, yes, whatever you're going to say might be important, but what she's trying to say is equally as important. And you make her feel less important when you are interrupting her. You might not even be trying to do it on some tip where you're trying to show that you're better than her. You might just be genuinely excited about what she's saying and want to add to the conversation. But by doing that, by interrupting her, she's feeling less and less that as if you actually care about her opinion, as if you actually even want to talk to her, because you're just so focused on what you have to say and you getting your point out there. And guys, notice this, okay? Next time you're in a crowd with like men and women talking, observe what happens when the guys start talking, and then a couple of women might try to, you know, interject their opinion or something like that, and then the guy interrupts. Watch what the women do, okay? Because I've seen this before. Most women will be like, well, then, because blah, 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 blah. And then the guy comes in, oh, sorry, blah, blah. And you'll see the women just be like, oh, yeah, Absolutely. Yeah. That's them passively aggressively saying, I don't like the fact that I was interrupted. Why couldn't you just wait till I finish my point? My point's just as good as yours. Why the heck do you have to be the one to speak right now? And this is what frustrates women to the point where they won't want to talk to you, because if they feel like they're not going to ever be able to get their point across, or they're not going to be able to just have their say, then what's the point of talking to you? It's just like you might as well just be talking to a wall, because all you want to do is talk and not listen to anybody else. So try to fix that habit as well. All right. So that's the third thing. Oh, that's the fourth thing, actually. Sorry. The fifth bad conversation habit that men have is trying to multitask versus being present. And a big reason this happens is because of the phone. Guys, and this is true for women too, but this is a guy show. So guys, we have a habit of, we're on the phone and a woman's talking to us and we're thinking to ourselves like, oh, I can do two things at once. Like, just because I'm looking down at my phone doesn't mean that I'm not listening to her, and I'll take her point and understand. But like, you really do miss key elements of a woman's conversation when you're not like facing her and not doing other things, whether it's being on your phone, being on your computer, trying to draw something, trying to play a video game. Like, this is why women will be like, hey, we need to sit down and talk, because they're saying we need to sit down, have our undivided attention, so that way you can hear me, I can hear you, we can take in what each other is saying, and we're not distracted by all these other outside elements. And as much as we like to think, guys, that we are so great at multitasking, we are not. I mean, even I got like 3 cameras right now running, and it's like I have to take an hour before the show to get all these connected and situated, because I can't be doing all these things at the same time, because I will not be able to stream this anywhere. You know? And so I don't even like looking down at my screen. I hate that, because I'm not looking directly at you guys in the camera. So you got to understand that women are going to connect with you here, right in the eyeballs, right here. And if you are doing anything else, they're going to, again, feel like you just don't want to have these conversations with them at all. Like, the thing that you're doing in front of you is so much more important than what she has to talk about. And that is not a feeling you want to give women that you want to stay around for you long term. Okay? Let me take a quick break here and check in the chats here. Notice there's been a lot going on here. Let's see. Learning as a woman that I'm actually introverted, male according to Terry's advice. Hey, it's funny. I think as guys, as we get older, we kind of get more and more used to also being in our own environments and solo by ourselves. I've been happy being that way since I was a kid, so this isn't new to me. But typically guys, as they get older, they need less stimulus, and so they're more content to like just kind of being to themselves. So it does happen as you get older and older, you know. But yeah. So continuing on here, number 6, the 6th bad conversation habit that guys have is rambling on endlessly and or taking over the convo. And I've seen it happen. Like, this is a podcast show. I'm currently the only one, so I talk incessantly because it's a sole entity. It's like we're having a conversation. But in the midst of other people, when I'm with the woman that I'm dating and I'm talking to her, I don't typically tend to take over conversation. Like, I'm not the guy that's going to spend a minute and a half to 5 minutes just talking on and on and on, because in my head, it's a conversation. There are 2 people here. We're both trying to express ideas. And so I just learned early on that, most women, when you go on dates with them for the first few dates, you really want to focus on getting to know them. And that means you do things to try to get them to talk a little bit more. But also, to that point, like, in a conversation, a woman's going to want to like hear they want to hear from you. They want to hear your opinions about stuff, and they want to hear whatever your thoughts are. They want to hear your ideas, but they want to be shared. Even if you're primarily talking about something that only you know about, it's still good to stop to let them ask questions or to interject their own opinion on what you just said. But what most guys will do is a woman will be like, so tell me about yourself. Like, what do you like to do for fun? And then a guy will take 20 minutes and just talk nonstop, and not stop to ask any questions or take a breather, or not put stuff in the conversation that allows her to ask a transitional question that could lead to another subject. Or they don't try to stop and say, but what about you? Like, what do you like to do for fun? Or etc. They would just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And then when they can't get a second date, they're like, well, I was, these women, they told me to be myself, and I was just being myself, and I was telling about myself, blah, blah, blah. And they don't recognize the fact that, yeah, you were doing that. You were being a nice, decent guy, but you took over the conversation. You talked way too much, and you didn't ask her anything. And so you get off the date feeling all great because, yeah, I got to tell her about myself, and she really knows more about me. And she's thinking, this guy just talked stop. Oh my God, I couldn't get a word in. He just went on and on about something, and he wouldn't get off this one subject, and he was just rambling, and he wouldn't ask me to talk anything. And I don't think a lot of guys recognize they do this. But trust me. And again, me being an introvert, I just notice it more because I notice when I get into conversations with guys where they talk for 10, 20, 30 minutes. And I'm sitting there like, as an introvert, like, I am ready to go. Like, or I need this conversation to change so I can be stimulated enough to think of stuff to say back, because this is just really like annoying. So what I typically do when I'm talking to people, I really do this, is I typically have a timer in my head. And the timer is between 30 seconds to 45 seconds, where at the max in a conversation, if I'm trying to make a point of some kind, or I'm trying to get an idea out, I will try to concisely put that into 30 to 45 seconds. And then at that point in my head, I'll be like, okay, let's either stop or ask her a question to make sure that she still feels like she's part of this conversation, because I legit want her in the conversation. So I'll stop and say, okay, I'll either stop and say, but what about your thing or whatever, or I'll go silent and let her like interject her point. Okay. And then I let her talk. I listen. I don't try to interrupt. I wait until she's done with her point, and then I'll ask a follow-up question, and then I'll proceed to, if it's something that I'm talking about that I'm more knowledgeable of, then I'll continue on. But I break that up because for those of you guys that do long talking, you might not be aware that while you're talking this long, women's eyes are getting glazed over. Like they might be sitting there and be like, yeah, oh wow, yeah, that's great. That's fat. That's just an automatic response to this conversation. And you can ask just about any women. The majority of women that deal with men who talk too long and don't know when to stop. And they're just sitting there saying, yeah, This does not mean she's with you. It's her polite, passive way of not letting you know how annoyed she is by the fact that you're just talking nonstop. So get a timer of some kind in your head. I don't know if you have to start for like 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, but get a timer in your head, and then know that when this timer rings, you probably need to stop talking, because our attention span these days, with all these various websites and Instagram, is really only about a minute. So after a minute of you talking, people are probably already like starting to snore off or be like, oh God, I'm already forgetting what he's saying. Like, it's not a good look, So just be mindful of that and work on that. That is the sixth thing. The seventh bad conversation habit that men have is waiting instead of listening. And what this means is this. Let's say you're like, okay, you know what? I am going to listen. What you actually are doing is this. You sit there and you listen to, she's talking, and you're just sitting there and you look like you're listening to what she's saying, but you're really just waiting. You're waiting to be able to get your point out. And so in the process of doing that, you're actually sitting there thinking more about the next point you're going to say than actually listening. And this is bad because she could say something in her time span of talking that actually relates to your point. But if you're not listening, then you start talking and you just say the same thing that she just said. Now she's going to be mad that you're definitely not listening. And women can tell the difference between a guy that is actively listening versus a guy who's just sitting there observing to look like they're listening, but waiting for her to stop talking so he can start talking again. Okay. And again, it's a bad habit and it's a hard one to break because, part of you's like, realistically, if she's saying stuff, you want to you're thinking, I got to have something ready for her to respond with when she's done talking, because I want her to see that I'm still involved in the conversation. But if you become more of an active listener and really pay attention to what she's saying versus like already having a point in your head that you want to say when she's done, then you'll start to be better at being able to ask follow-up questions that are based on the things that she actually said, versus being that waiting guy that's like, because when you're waiting, you're still just basically saying in your head, like, my point's going to be more important. So I'll let her say a little bit, her little thing, but then once she's done, boom, coming back with the thing that I'm going to say that's more important. And that is not listening. So listen more, be better. And that way women will start to be like, oh, this guy, he listens to me. He understands me. He knows me. And when you listen, you'll find out cool stuff about the woman you're dating that you can use to surprise her later, whether it's like her mentioning a certain place that she likes, a certain type of food, the kind of flower she likes. Like in conversations, if you're listening, you'll pick this stuff up and she'll just say it like a random thought, but you'll be able to use that later when you surprise her with things that are like, oh my God, you really listen. I like this thing and this and that. Like, this is the benefit of actively listening to a woman. Okay. So that is number 7. The 8th bad conversation habit that men have, and I absolutely hate this one too, is using too much sarcasm or jokiness. Now, I use myself as an example because even though I don't like it now, back in the day, I was very much that guy that if you said any kind of sentence, I could think of a joke for it. In fact, to this day, even now, like I'm very familiar with a lot of song lyrics. So when people say stuff to me, the first thing I think is a song lyric that correlates to what they were saying, or an exact song lyric that is what they said. And when I was younger, though, I would think of like funny jokes or sarcastic comments, nothing mean, mind you, but just stuff that I thought was really funny or observant humor. But I did it so much that it got really annoying. And I realized that as funny as I think these things are, I don't need to do these all the time. It's like simple things like when women say stuff and you might be like, oh, that's what she said. Like, that's a funny joke every once in a while. But to say that after every single sentence that she says, it's really, really annoying. And women are not down for the get down on that. Like, because even though they like jokes and like guys that can make them laugh and are funny, there are going to be points where they're trying to have a real conversation with you about things. And if all you can do is nonstop come up with jokes or be sarcastic towards her, then that is going to be something that is going to, over time, really start to frustrate her to where she doesn't think she can have a legit conversation with you because you're just always taking things as a joke instead of being able to sit down and talk about the seriousness of a situation. So you have to read the room. You have to kind of know when it's okay to be jokey, or you have to know when it's like you're going to leave a sentence here or there that's going to be funny, but overall you're going to be serious in this moment and maybe more funny in other moments. But yeah, that whole sarcasm thing, like it's just so annoying when you're trying to have a decent conversation with somebody. So you don't have to add that in all the time. Your woman probably knows you're funny and you're a laugh riot. That's fine. Again, we're not saying completely get rid of it, but just know the moments to do that and know the moments to like leave that at home. Because as guys, we'll joke on each other all day long and throw insults and be, witty and whatever. And we don't take it personally amongst ourselves, but women sometimes do. So you got to read how she's taking things and then adjust accordingly. All right. So that is the 8th thing. The 9th bad conversation habit that men have is spending the whole time talking about yourself. And I kind of alluded to that a little bit early on about interrupting others and taking over the conversation, because typically when you take over the conversation, you might take over it where you're talking about some random thing about entertainment or science or whatever. But most of the time, if you're taking over a conversation, you're talking about yourself. You're talking about some experience you had, some great thing that happened to you, some bad thing that happened to you, something that is interesting in your life. And it becomes the me show. Hey, look at me. I'm so great. Oh, she asked me a question. I'm just going to take this thing. And then she said something about herself. And I'm going to take that back and make it more about me. And again, I've alluded to that earlier, but like, yeah, spending the whole time talking about yourself. You are great. And she probably knows you're great, but you talking about how great you are and all the wonderful things you've experienced in your life and having that just be the sole thing you're talking about, that goes to where you start to become that guy that's a little too cocky and a little too arrogant, and you're just solely about yourself and not about others. And even though in practice and day to day, you might not be, your conversation is giving the impression that you are. So that is not something that you really want to do if you are trying to keep a woman around, because again, conversations involve talking about a multitude of things. You're going to talk about you a little bit. She's going to talk about her a little bit. Ideally, you're going to talk about her a little bit and vice versa. You're going to talk about other subject matters besides just you two, whether it's politics, religion, etc. But yeah, to make every single conversation about you, and be mindful, guy, people will talk behind your back and say stuff like, he just always talks about himself. Yeah, he just always turns into himself somehow. He never wants to talk about anything else but what he's going through. Like, you don't want to have the reputation amongst women that you're trying to get with, because that leads them to not want to look at you as a potential partner. Okay. So that is the 9th thing. The 10th bad conversation habit men have is always needing to be right. Now, guy, let's be honest. Okay. We like to be right. And we spend our time doing research on stuff. We spend a lot of time getting to know facts. Guys, most of our life is about collecting facts. Me doing these shows is about me collecting facts and giving them to you. This is what we like to do. We like to get facts so we can give them to other guys. And it's a thing we do to be impressive. It's a thing we do to look knowledgeable, and that is fine. But there are going to be instances where you're talking with women where, she might say something where you think that's not right. She's not correct about that point. And you're going to try to overprove how wrong she is. Okay. That is not fun for women, because while you're trying to talk and you're thinking, well, she got the fact right, so I want to give her the right fact. Because as guys, we're like, if I get a wrong fact, please, guy, tell me what the fact is that is actually correct. So that way I can go forward and tell other guys this fact that's actually correct versus the one that is wrong. Okay. But women, again, they're about communal talking. They're about building. The conversation itself is for them the means to bond. So it doesn't matter if she's right or wrong. For her, it's about the fact that we're even having the conversation, which means we're spending time together, which means we are now bonding. So when you come to that and she says some random thing that you don't think is right, and you want to be like, well, that's not correct, and actually your facts are wrong, and how could you do this, blah, blah. Now you're not making it fun for her, because she was just having a fun conversation, and she might, in the midst of that, she threw out something that might be incorrect, but it didn't have to be, you made it into this huge big deal to where now she almost feels ashamed that she even brought it up. Oh, and she's really like, feels some kind of way about this. Oh my God, I don't know if I should I should stop the conversation because this is I didn't know, oh my God. And so, and this isn't to say that you'll never come across this instance where a woman will be wrong. But you might also come across instances where there's no definitive right or wrong thing. So for example, a girl might come to you and say oh, you know what? I heard Nintendo's got a new system coming out next year. Now that could be true or it could be false. You might not actually know. So what I've gotten into the habit of doing is this. If it's a situation where the actual fact doesn't really matter, then I don't feel the need to argue the point so much. And so what I'll do instead is, let's say in that instance, she says, oh, I think Nintendo has a system coming out next year. I would say something like, oh, you know what? I hadn't heard that. That could be a thing. Maybe. There's no need in that moment to try to prove to her, well, I just checked on Wikipedia and it said blah, 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 blah. No, it's you know what? I'm saying your point could be right, but we don't really know. But you know what? Based on what your observation could be that I don't have knowledge of, that could be a thing. And women will take that better than you just flat out saying, your fact's wrong, you're dumb, how stupid, you don't know anything. Because women, again, this is about bonding with them. And so by you trying to cut off their fact that they brought up, now you're basically essentially deadening the conversation because she's going to feel bad. She's going to feel like her saying anything is pointless to this point. And now you've killed the attraction and the conversation. And you don't need to do that. So just, especially for you younger guys out there that right now probably think I need to be right on everything. You don't. And I find it's less stress, especially as an introvert. Even if you know a fact is a fact is correct. As an introvert, do you want that stress? Do you want to have to now go into a 5-page dissertation of why your point's right and hers is wrong? You could do that, but really you could be spending your time doing so much other things besides arguing this point that's just solely between you and her that in the grand scheme of things is just not going to matter. It's just not, continuing on. The 11th bad conversation habit that men have is asking someone to go deeper on a subject they broach that they are not ready for. And sometimes women will do this in a conversation where, for example, they might say something and then, when I was, I've been watching this show since I was little, but man, I didn't get to watch it a lot because the house I grew up in was it was very, very stressful and abusive, but I don't want to talk about that. But anyway, the show is great. So as a guy, you hear this and in the process of you looking for conversation fodder, you hear, she got abused. Oh, I want to delve deeper into that because that's deep. And as introverts, we like deep conversation. I want to get more into that. So you'll be like, well, no, tell me about how you got abused as a kid. But she just said, but I don't really want to talk about that. And is it to say it's because sometimes women in order to get them to want to talk with you about things on a deeper level, they have to broach the subject first, but then not go into it because they're slowly convincing their brain, this is a guy that I can talk to about this thing. So I want to kind of bring it up a little bit now, but I'm not ready to go deep. And then as I get to know him more and trust him more, he'll know that part of my life has already been expressed. And now I can go deeper because it won't be a surprise to him that this happened because I mentioned it. But what you want to do, guys, you want to be no, don't pass that. Keep going to it. Go towards that. Well, I don't really feel I'm trying to have a good time. So I want to talk about that. No, you got to go deeper. You got to go deeper. And we're thinking by doing this, they're going to be able to recognize that they can trust us with their emotions and feelings. But really all it's doing is pissing her off because now she has to talk about something that she doesn't actually want to talk about, And this is why I talk about the importance of knowing passive language. If a woman's saying some stuff but we don't have to go into that, sometimes you got to listen to that and be like, okay. And I found that if a woman broaches the topic like that, and she says, but I don't want to talk about that right now. And I go, okay, we don't have to talk about it. Then usually they're like, oh, he respected my wishes. Now I want to talk about it. Versus if I try to push against it, now it's a thing where it's oh, snap. I really didn't want to talk about it. And he's making me bring it up. And now I'm having these bad memories. And oh my God. So understand, guy, that you don't have to go into all these deep subjects or, a lot of times women will mention their parents getting divorced when they were young, but they don't, but you want to try to go deep into it in that moment. And if you just started dating a girl early on, chances are if she mentioned it, it's great, but she's not trying to be uber deep with it just yet. She just wants you to know that this part of her life exists and you will learn more about that as it goes along. All right. So learn to read those subtle cues, guy. And again, save yourself these long, hard conversations that some of them you're going to realize you don't actually want to have should you go deeper. Okay, so that is number 11. The 12th bad conversation habit that men have is personally attacking someone when you disagree with them. Guy, you are going to get into disagreements with women. It's just inevitable. It's going to happen, okay? Now, amongst guys, if, some guy says that we're wrong about something, Most guys won't be hurt if you say to them, no, you're stupid, you're crazy, that's dumb. How you gonna think that you bold, dumb old chicken head, blah, blah, blah. Like we just, in terms of that kind of stuff, because we take it in a more playful manner, it's like, it doesn't hurt our skin as much as it would for women. But women, like, yeah, again, because they're talking to bond, you got to think, does you insulting her when she comes up with a bad point that you don't agree with make her feel good and want to keep talking to you, or make her feel bad and want to run for the hills? Well, again, if we're trying to bond with them, then you trying to throw out all kinds of insults. Not only are you making her feel bad, you're also insulting her character. You're making her feel as though her thoughts and opinions are less than, and she doesn't want to be around somebody who's going to make her feel these things. Okay. So understand that just because you have a disagreement with somebody, or that you're talking to a woman and suddenly she brings up a point that either you didn't think about or you disagree with, that does not now lead you to having to insult them. Okay. And if anything, it allows for a better conversation, because now you can try to pinpoint, like, she's thinking this and she's like, well, I disagree with XYZ, blah, blah, blah. You can now do what? Ask follow-up questions. Interesting. So how did you come to that point? Well, okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And like, where did you like look that stuff up? Like, I'm just curious, like I want to know, like, what was in your background and what was in your life that made you think about this thing this way, or made you experience this thing in a way that I didn't experience it? Like, disagreements allow you to delve deeper into who she is. So use it like that versus like having to like be like, well, their thoughts are stupid, so I got to tell them, hey, woman, your thoughts are stupid and you're dumb, and how dare you think this? And what are you, a moron? Did you not go to school? Did you not learn all this stuff? Like, none of that's going to help draw a woman to you in any kind of positive capacity. It's just not. So try to avoid that. Yes, there are going to be times where women say some stuff that you're going to feel is just dumb, and you're going to be like, where the heck did this woman's thoughts come from? Is she not observant of the world? I had a woman I dated one time that was a little younger than me, and I would mention what I thought were simple things, and she'd be like, what is that? I don't know what that means. And it took all my strength to be like, just explain it to her. Don't be like, how do you not freaking know this, you dumb idiot? And I would, oh, well, this means blah, 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 blah. That words mean this, or, oh, this person was that. Like, because again, if you really care for the other person, you're not trying to make them feel bad just because they might have knowledge gaps that you don't have. So don't do that. So that's the 12th thing. And then lastly, the 13th bad conversation habit a lot of guys have is giving short, dead-end answers to questions. And this is why I talk about, like, it's important to ask follow-up questions, but it's also important to know how to answer questions, because as guys, we can be very straightforward, and that can be good in certain situations, but it can be detriment to us in situations where it's just casual conversation that the woman's trying to have with you for some length of time. So for example, let's say a girl asks you, so tell me about where you're from. The response that would be bad to give is, oh, I'm from Richmond, Virginia. That's it. Like that's all you have to say. Oh yeah. And then I also lived here. Like, these are not answers that allow for a long conversation. And women are great at being able to expand answers. If you've noticed this yourself, you can ask a woman just about any kind of what you would consider to be simple question, should just be 1 or 2 word answer, and they will go on and on. You'd ask the woman, hey, what's your first name? And she'd be like, well, my first name is Becky, but see what happened was my parents, they actually wanted to name me X, Y, and Z. But then what happened was when we were in the hospital, the nurse's name was also Becky, and she was really, really mean. So my mom didn't want to name it. So, and they'll just go on and on and on. But that's because they're trying to use this conversation to bond. We're typically in conversations for facts, and that's it. Like, we want to know the facts. We want to know the straight to the A's and B's of a story. And we're not all that trained in the conversation can be just for the conversation. It doesn't have to be for research. It doesn't have to be to get a fact that you can then use. It could just be for leisure and fun. And that's how women take conversations, is for fun. So in the same token for you, if a woman's like, hey, so tell me where you're from, you don't give like a 1 or 2 word answer. You say some stuff like, I'll say like, I'm from Richmond. Okay. Say, oh, tell me where you're from. Oh, I'm from Richmond, Virginia. Like, yeah, I'm from Virginia. And it was a cool state, a lot of trees there, and a good place to raise family. But I just, I lived there for 20 years, and good Lord, like I had to get out of there. So I decided to move to California. So now that gives her more stuff to work with. On top of, I've now said 4 or 5 things in that conversation that she can now reach back at and ask me a follow-up question too, which now continues the conversation. So keep in mind, when you're with women and they're asking you stuff in the hopes that you're going to be able to answer in a way that lengthens the time of the conversation. So get used to not just giving these 1 or 2 word answers. Really practice on, basically, the trick is this. When they ask you a question, it's just like they teach us in school. You want to restate the question and then give an answer with at least 3 different descriptors. So in the case of, so tell me about where you're from, I could be like, oh, where I'm from. Well, I'm from Richmond. I was born and raised there. I moved when I was 5 years old to California. Then I moved back because my dad was in the Army. And then I grew up there for 20 years. So I've mentioned 3 or 4 things there that she can use. And that allows the conversation to continue on versus just having come to a dead stop. And that's why a lot of you introverts get stopped also, because you're in your head thinking like, okay, I got to think of some stuff to say. And then in the process of that, you don't realize that if you just took her question and ran with it, you'd have more to say and it'd be easier to talk. And I think we get in our heads too, because granted, we do teach and men do, learn that for those first few dates, you really want to get to know the woman and let her do the majority of the talking. And that's true. You want to be asking her questions that are going to get her to talk for a long amount of time. And most women are going to do that anyway. But when they ask you questions, understand that means they also want to get to know about you. So while you may not talk as long as her, again, keep that 30 to 45 second time in your head. You got 45 seconds when she asks you a question to answer it. Use that 45 seconds to your advantage and get out as much as you can about yourself until enough for her to be able to ask you more questions. And then for you to also, give her questions back, So, but yeah, those are the habits. So just in summary, these are the 13 habits to avoid. 1, turning what the other person says into something about yourself. Stop doing that. Number 2, automatically having an opposite viewpoint on everything the person says. It's very annoying. Number 3, being too negative. Be positive. Number 4, constantly interrupting others. Number 5, stop multitasking. Instead, learn to be more present when you're talking to somebody. Number 6, stop rambling on endlessly and taking over conversations. Number 7, stop waiting and really start to actually listen to what the other person's saying so you can get better follow-up questions to ask them. Number 8, don't be so overly sarcastic or jokey in all these conversations. Number 9, stop spending the whole time talking about yourself. Number 10, stop always needing to be right. It's a conversation. You ain't got to be right on the facts, or she ain't got to be right on the facts all the time for it to be enjoyed, Number 11, stop asking someone to go deeper on the subject that they broach but are not fully ready to talk about. Number 12, stop personally attacking somebody that you disagree when there's a disagreement in the conversation. And number 13, learn to give better answers than just these short dead-end answers. Just following these tips right here, you will be eons better in conversation, and more women will want to talk to you on a longer length of time. Okay? So that's all I got for today's show. Thanks for tuning in. For more of these shows, go to introvertdatingsuccess.com. Also join us at protestparty.tv every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for these shows. For those of you that have been listening to this for a while, you know that I have a program that is dropping on this Wednesday, the 26th. It is called Smart Digital Dating. For those of you that are interested in really getting to know how this whole online dating thing works, I have a program that's going to take you step by step through the A's and Z's of setting up your bio, creating pictures, messaging women, and being able to get dates offline by way of phone apps and websites. It's an awesome program, and it's based on stuff that I've done time and time again to be able to get consistent dates off these websites, okay? And that's coming out Wednesday the 26th. So that show is going to be coming up, and that'll be awesome. I'll explain everything that's happening on Wednesday's show. Right? In the meantime, go to the website to check out my ebooks. I got a book on how to text women, which is also good to know when you're trying to converse on text. So this stuff will be helpful for that as well. I got a book on what not to do when trying to attract women, and I got a book on how to get back with your ex. All right. Lastly, guys, I offer one-on-one coaching. If you're interested in that, go to the website, introvertdatingsuccess.com, and click on the coaching tab. And if you have anything you'd like me to talk about on one of these shows, you can write to me at harrywilmington@gmail.com, or go to the website and click on the contact tab. Whew, that's a lot. So thank you guys for checking in with the show today. I'll be back on Wednesday, and that's it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and keep on watching protestparty.tv. I'm out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Introvert Dating Success Podcast. Visit us at introvertdatingsuccess.com for more great tips on attracting women using your natural introvert charm. Oh, yeah.
The same way we with him, y'all with y'all. So y'all can't say shit.
Lock arms, start another row.
Lock arms. Why is it that you have to take out guns for an unarmed black man, but you can peacefully detain a white man with guns in your face? Like y'all don't got tasers on your fucking hip, bro.
Like they didn't tase him first, though.
Y'all gotta use a gun on a black man for real? We not scared of y'all for real? And the thing is, y'all can't even look us in our face and give us a single answer. Are you irritated? practice, do you? You want to go home? Well, Jacob can't go home. So, Jacob can't go home. Because we angry too. We're angry too. We're tired of your eyes. You can roll your eyes and you can act like you don't give a fuck all you want. But we gonna stay. Hey, I'm gonna be right back.
Now for what? Did y'all keep protecting the serve?
Right.
You just see this shit on TV, man. You do this shit on real.
Man, we out here, period. Black Lives Matter. So they can get bashed.
All right. Everybody listen. Everybody listen.
I'm taking it back.
Everybody listen. Listen. They just called and said the man passed away. They just called and said the man passed away. Man, fuck 12. Now it turned into the normal. I remember, we want to keep the peace, so that's true. We want to keep the peace, so they don't get this shoot. And everyone on us keep the only one survived. We ain't let's remember that. We protested. We want to keep the peace, so we can
Oh, y'all went right in their face.
That is bitch up! Fuck KBC! Fuck KBC! Be quiet! Be quiet! We're having a moment of silence. Y'all need to shut the fuck up now.
Take a knee. Shut your mouths and take a knee out of respect.
Right.
Everybody on the knee.
They just pronounced him dead. They just called us. So be the fuck quiet. Jacob Blake! Jacob Blake! Jacob Blake! Jacob Blake! Jacob Blake! Jacob Blake! They got the snipers and shit. I'm not bowing down to these motherfuckers. I ain't bowing down shit, no. She got a gun. Who? She had to take her. I hate this bitch. No. I hate her. I had to get off mine because that bitch had me. I know, that's what I said. They just pronounced him dead.
Take a shot of that if somebody would.
Fucking got there, basically. He had Fight for Life and he was in Milwaukee. But y'all need to stop spreading false shit. They not shooting at us. Y'all don't even know what the fuck going on. Y'all ass ain't out here doing none of this shit. Fuck. This our friends though. This right here our friends. He with us. He with us. Yeah, I'm walking with y'all. He with us. Yeah, all that. I'm with y'all anyway, regardless. Cause I've been cool all night. I'm straight all this whole little time. I'm around the right motherfuckers. But they have not been shooting at us. They've been throwing firecrackers. We've been throwing firecrackers. Fuck, it ain't been the police shooting at us. Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Y'all just seeing shit in videos and hearing shit. They have not shot at us one time. They haven't got violent with us not one time. I mean, it's getting hectic, but no.
You with the bread, put the bread down. You with the bread, put the bread down. You with the bread, put the bread down. You with the bread, put the bread down.
Hey, boy, don't be aiming at me. Hey, you a bitch. You want to come out that truck? Oh.
Dino with the bat, drop the bat, that's the weapon. Dino with the bat, drop the bat, that's the weapon. Dino with the bat, drop the bat, that's the weapon. Dino with the bat, drop the bat, that's the weapon.
Screenshot that, y'all, right there. Screenshot that, right there. One more, it's gonna be another one right here.
Gobble, right in front of you, right in front of you. Dino with the bat, drop the bat.
You're pointing the wrong person. How you pointing your gun at everybody and nobody got shit? You're dumb as fuck. You're dumb as fuck. Hey, not me. They just fucking walked in here.
Our streets. Dino with the bat, drop the bat. Dino with the bat, drop the bat. Behind the back with the and that's hearing you, my nigga. My God, nigga. We're gonna beat your ass.
That dude was just looking to shoot everyone got right behind me. They got right behind me. I said, oh shit! Stay off me now.
You at 11?
11,000? Yeah.
You better watch his eyes. Watch his eyes.
I thought I was doing good.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's really good.
No, thanks for this support. Knock your pants! This is an unlawful assembly.
Well, no one else out here grabbing it, you know, so. And those impact rounds right there.
Fuck you, Pack!
Way too
Don't nobody got no fucking gun. Do it again.
Run us down. Watch out. Gun that man down.
All y'all some bitches. All y'all some bitches.
We got nothing.
There's not a gun out here. Tell nobody
Shoot us down. Shoot us all down.
Good. There's a barrier. There's a barrier. There's a barrier.
You got your buddy over here aiming at a fucking
There's a barrier. This is an unlawful assembly. Leave the area. We will use chemical munitions. Don't do that. No, that's wrong. That's wrong.
I'll ball your ass up.
That shit wrong.
I'll ball your ass up.
Nobody got no weapon.
Let's get between me and you. No, that's a coward shit. Oh, we out here being people. You came here and did this. No, they literally recruiting you from some fucking midgets. Everything was peaceful. You told us to attack
70 of them anyway. It's only 70 of them, I'm telling you. Maybe 85 now.
They know that.
Hey, watch dude. Watch dude. Watch dude. Watch dude. Watch dude.
Right here. Just hold your gun.
Watch dude. Watch him. And this guy right here. This is an unlawful assembly.
Hey, thank you, Kay. Appreciate you so much. Look, every time they shoot those things.
Hey, you! Hey! What the fuck are they shooting?
Unnecessary. And I'm a community leader. And I'm out here.
Y'all watch over there. That's the food and shit.
Hey. Man, this shit getting hectic. Damn! 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 Yeah, K-Town crazy.
With a K. Crazy with a K. K-Town crazy with a K. Fucking tell me out. Ooh, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What was it? Oh, flash fire? Oh, shit. Hell no. Oh, my God. What the fuck? I'm going through it right now. Damn. All right, the tear gas is getting a little bit hectic. All right, nobody tell nobody I was out here at this point. I was never here. Ooh, they fucking up the they fucking up the museum, bitch. Damn. Oh my God. Oh my God, they got the motherfucker on fire. Oh shit, hold on. Oh my God, y'all. The motherfucking truck is on fire, G. They set the motherfucking truck on fire, bro. They got the fucking truck on fire, bro. Bro, what y'all breaking into? What the fuck is this, a daycare? I couldn't see or nothing on my grandma's whole bitch. Fucked up. Oh shit, what the fuck is that? I wasn't nowhere near the gas. They're going fucking nuts. No, this shit is fucking nuts, bro. Come on, bust the window. I ain't busting shit, man. No, it's like literally. Yeah, y'all, the whole K outside. I just can't believe I got this fucking truck on fire in Kenosha like this. How are we starting these fires? That shit in my throat too, bitch. Damn. This truck ain't gonna explode or something? Don't it explode after a while or something? Ooh. He said it's gonna blow up. Come back. Come back, bitch. You too close. We too close to the car. Ah, no. Ah, no. Okay, I'm coming. I'm coming. Okay, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Anybody else? Nobody.
Ooh. Okay, okay. What y'all on?
There's Sean over there.
Come on, y'all.
They fucking Kenosha up. K-Town City crazy. With a K.
Fuck y'all. That shit burns.
Fuck the ops.
Whatever the fuck the police
Fuck the
at
ops.
least they flew in the air, that shit hit my face, my eyes.
KPD the ops. That's what I'm talking about.
I swear to God, just stop breathing, see and smelling.
Gee.
That shit. Like, I swear to God.
We in the fucking field, Lord. Like, we in the field, bro.
I'm finna move the fuck.
Lord and them out here. Everybody out here. I'm just kidding. I keep calling dude Lord because he been looking out. I swear he has. He my homie now.
See my fucking face burn.
He my fucking homie for real. Wait, no. Why we, Our car this way anyway. We can't go this way. Excuse me. Our car not even over here. Bro, it's a fucking scene out here, man. Yeah, that motherfucker is gonna.
What's your bad now? Shooting that gun, shooting a paintball gun at one of my
You better keep that up. You see about 90 people.
That's
Right?
nice.
Keep that up.
And I see what. No, but y'all have mouth. Y'all can speak up too. Shooting a paintball gun at one of your own. If you want to shoot, why you ain't join the fucking war?
Take a screenshot of that right
the
there.
people that's trying to hurt us. You didn't do that, right?
The reason why we're here is exactly what.
So this how you treat your people? So look.
It's not just that one.
So this is what he do.
Look, man, Don't you do that. Backpack, you need to leave the area.
Popping off impact rounds on people.
I'm
Yeah.
saying loud, my black people be saying Yo, what if they burn your shit? That's not your shit. You paid for that? Whatever they burnt up, you paid for it? No. Go to the war. I promise you, the people in all these people out here, they scared to go to war.
Never.
This man saying you ever got shot in your
Disperse
face.
the area.
You freaked me out, man. I saw a black flag, and I was like, oh shit, don't get up on me.
I'm on stop. I'm on my stand.
Seeing a whole lineup of officers.
If they shoot me, hell's gonna go on wheels.
Seem to be willing to hear the cries of the voices of people who to mourn the death of their brother.
Some of y'all didn't even have to work today.
I see the flame.
I gotta look.
I see tears. This is a time that calls for action.
Disperse the area.
There's only 123 of them. It's only like 130 at the most.
This motherfucker got a motherfucking rubber gun in the back.
Disperse the area.
I've been over with 11 o'clock, long time ago. They ready to shoot. So they train y'all to shoot our black people? Or what?
First Amendment word right.
Disperse the area.
You up there, look, you up there ready to shoot, but you not down here talking to us. Stop!
Oh shit.
We trying to talk.
That's going right over my head. Y'all see that?
That was a good duck. We both ducked.
Yeah, just. Boop, boop, boop.
Can I tell him?
Yeah, dude, hop up here.
Hey, I want to say, this is a question I had y'all. What if we had guns and y'all had guns? Wait a minute. What would y'all say? Be a racial war? Black on black crime against white? Huh?
Top knot, the gray shirt. He's an agitator. He's throwing items.
Stealing what?
White right behind the statue, right here.
What are you doing?
You're agitating us. You shooting us.
You shooting.
You agitating us. We're agitating you.
You on a microphone.
Hey, you better cover up a little bit. You can still get hit.
Man, these people out here bullshit, man.
Oh shit.
Bloody shoot.
Ooh, that was just like right by my ear. Damn. That one shot right past my ear.
I took my
I'm trying to get a guy over there on the other side of that statue right there. Ooh.
Damn.
Disperse the area.
Hey, don't protect them.
Don't be scared when us react. Alright, control his job. You don't want it behind the flower bed.
Why are people fighting for that? I want to understand, why are people having to fight for justice?
Disperse the area.
I'm grown as hell. I wish you would. Why are you This is America. You need to see.
You need better aid.
It's my face. You need
justice, man.
Go back to training. Your aim sucks.
Put the guns down. But they tell us to put the guns down, but they got the guns. Put the guns.
Throw it back off.
How you doing, Andrew?
Throw it back off.
Where the tasers at?
Throw it back off.
Where is the taser?
He's hanging out on a bench in the park. What's up?
What did I do? All I'm doing is talking.
I'm standing right here in the motherfucking
Throw it
line.
back off.
Look.
I'm not threatening you. I'll back up when you start shooting. How about that? Shoot us. I'm going to hit you with you.
He hit me with that paintball.
What's the I'm trying to understand why we have to back up? What your problem is?
Y'all ain't calling me.
You guys are backing the system up that's fucking everything up.
Y'all kind of scary. When I jump
If
in
we
y'all,
want
y'all
to
jump
hurt
back.
y'all, look, listen. If we want to hurt y'all, this blasted ass shit, that ain't gonna hold us back. It's more than nothing, y'all.
Thank you.
Let's be for real.
Thank you.
Should never be a fight. Why are we arguing?
And I'm talking to y'all in y'all face. This class. That's not gonna hurt us. That's right there. That's not a breathing mask, sir. That's not a breathing mask.
Hey,
Look at Buddy getting ready. Hey,
I got a question.
I'm trying to tell you what's going on.
I got a question. What is it about black people that scare you so fucking much?
Go back to training and stuff.
That's not gonna hurt us.
What is that?
That machine gun back there will.
Why you coming out with guns? You coming out with guns.
That's not gonna hurt
People
you.
ask for justice if you want to get more
Y'all not gonna shoot our people. Y'all shot already. Y'all killed our people. You gotta understand.
Now why the fuck you
So can y'all step back? Can y'all step back? Can y'all do that for us? Can y'all step back?
Adidas, black Adidas shirts and agitators. You've thrown rocks earlier and just had a step down.
Fuck you. What's up?
Hey, can y'all show respect and step back? So we can understand.
Please, what did I do? I just want to know what I did.
Black Adidas shirt, you have to leave the area. Black Adidas shirt, you have to leave the area.
Y'all don't like when
Leave the area.
y'all don't like when white people stand up for blacks, do you?
Black Adidas shirt, you have to leave the area.
He said, why do I gotta leave? You look down. Nope.
Adidas West.
You're good.
Handle the business and people will leave
So bad.
You guys can try to have civil conversation. I don't have shit for the water bottle. Please.
We know y'all have a job to do.
Hey, Dylan, thank you so much, man.
Only shoot unarmed people. Y'all kind of stupid, ain't you?
I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you so much.
Hey, let's go together. They're going to try to push us. They about to try to push us.
They get more than bitches, y'all.
They get mad at our gang, but they
They
a
get them
whole
all lives out.
It's crazy how long they stood here, man. Portland and anywhere else, they'd have been pushing for a minute.
What are you doing? Oh, hell yeah, I do.
What? Is that 13?
13, really? Good shit. I was at 10, but
Once
then,
you dropped, I went up by 10.
I know.
No, I'm kidding.
I died, and then you took it. Here they go, CJ.
Oh, there you go.
Every action has an opposite and equal reaction.
How about you do your job and shoot killers? Shoot y'all people.
That's simple. I go work in the morning.
Shoot rapists. Shoot killers. Don't shoot black people.
They gonna shoot us and
It don't make sense.
Do your fucking job.
It don't make sense.
Hey, my nigga's good over here. He got the helmet, everything.
I know he's rubbing it in, too. He got a gas mask. Leave me out here with nothing.
I'm trying to get like
Amazon, bro. Jeff Bezos, shout out.
He said Jeff Bezos, shout out. Yeah, he said big shout out Jeff Bezos. Amazon funding protests from day one. They'll deliver here right now. Uh-oh. That's a high school over there, isn't it? Or junior high?
All they shooting behind the line. Y'all wearing armor. We all.
Rest in peace to him, all condolences, family, all that. He was just pronounced dead like 20 minutes ago. He was transported to Milwaukee and they pronounced him dead at the hospital. Condolences to his family. I know they're gonna be upset that we acting crazy, but
They breaking shit over there right now. It's this dude. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, they fucking that shit up, bro. Damn, they. Look, these niggas going crazy. Yo, hey, yo, I'm gonna follow this. I know I shouldn't, but hey, wish me luck, y'all.
Kenosha turns the fuck out.
Yeah, dude, they really do. Hey, man. This shit is wild, yo. They for real, dude? Bro. Look at that nigga. He
Make
out.
sure you don't hit people's faces in that.
He's out. There's some like,
what's that app? I don't know what it's called. There's some shit.
Damn.
What's the time?
Damn, I'm surprised they're not like rushing us right now. Damn.
I said mark the move.
Oh.
Why are you in the car? You said we're afraid. You're in the car driving away from the cops. What the fuck is that smell?
Bro, they. Y'all. They don't give no fucks right now.
You said they gonna what? Oh, they got the gasoline, y'all. Oh. Yeah, bag. Y'all came in with the gasoline already on some bad shit, man. What the fuck is that? Oh. Y'all can't be running towards me. Y'all gotta, no. Say something while y'all running in, shit. Fuck. Don't run towards me. Fuck.
Open your eyes. No, blink a lot, please. Blink a lot.
Put your head down.
Yo, here.
What is that?
Just water. Open your chest. You have to open your chest.
You gotta keep blinking. Blink a lot. Blink.
Oh yeah. News. You finna put all this on the news, huh?
Well, you're used to this shit. Yeah, I can tell you're geared up.
Yeah, right?
Y'all be safe.
Thank you. I'm good. I'm with you. Yeah.
Nah, I don't, man. Oh, hell no. Come on, man. They even got a Black Lives Matter sign. Right there. Don't go to the car shop. That's a church they talking about.
Reception's getting choppy right here, y'all. Sorry.
Y'all ain't go smack. Y'all go smack him. What? What they say? Oh shit! Damn! Oh shit! Oh shit! That's diesel, cause diesel don't blow up. But if that's not diesel, it's gonna blow up. Where your car at?
Elise car right there.
Your car?
My car.
Oh.
They need to motherfucking get the goddamn courthouse.
Yo. I swear I've been hearing Boosie all day. Hi, beautiful.
Hi, baby.
These diesel? Like, what the fuck?
I shouldn't probably be smoking a cigarette at this point.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you should. No, I don't think so. You can go light it on the car. You can go up to the truck and light your cigarette.
Hell no, I'm gonna be lighting it the fuck I am now.
You can go light your cigarette on the truck. It's fires down here. They setting fire to the fucking streets.
Okay, the next needs to be the motherfucking courthouse though. The courthouse and the police station, goddammit. Shit. This ain't affecting nobody. They gonna get that right back. Bitch rebuilt the courthouse and the jail. How about that? Burn down the motherfucking DA.
Yeah. There, this K-Town. I keep telling y'all, this Kenosha. It's K-Town City crazy with a K.
This when your city show up and show out. We all hate each other out here, but we gonna show up and show out.
No, I just told them they better slide tonight, and then them niggas know who I'm talking about. They better slide tonight. Where you come from? I didn't even see you this whole little time.
Works. I don't know.
Girl.
I was on the city earlier, but shit, I had to come represent for my city too.
Period. Like, and I'm like,
born and raised. I don't give a fuck.
At the end of the day,
being a boss and being a manager can end right now.
Everything is a figure of speech. Everything is a part of the protest. So
that's right.
Everything going down. Girl, yes, they ain't put that shit out.
Y'all know I'm trying to get up in there because I need
some. Oh, you trying to go to the outlet?
I need some Victoria.
Oh, I need some boots. It's getting cold. It's getting cold. I need some boots. Oh, yeah. Praying, we finna go. All right, we finna go. I'm gonna turn the live off too because they can't even. Y'all hit my line for the Ugg boots. Okay, I got the Ugg boots. I got the Timberlands and the Uggs, all that. We finna have all that. Hey.
I gotta wait till everybody else gets to leave before we leave because.
Who that? Damn.
It was all the Illinois people too. I watched them ride up.
The Illinois people want to come and just be fucking dumb. Like, stay y'all ass Illinois for real. Y'all just, you're not a part of the crew. Like, you're not one of us. You're from Illinois. You're not from Kenosha. But I mean, I the support good regardless. But I'm just saying, like, Illinois just want to come and do a lot. Wait. Yeah, so. I'm running that bitch. They gonna have to hit our line for the Ugg boots, y'all. We finna be selling Ugg boots. Ugg boots and Timberlands. Oh, my bad. I'm finna, the car unlocked. Oh, look at this motherfucker on the damn. What's the name? You getting on this side? We finna go. Oh no, it's just cause this spot wet still from the juice.
Left, so.
Yeah.
I said there's not a lot of people that left.
Talking about the S is silent, Illinois. I don't give a fuck what it is. Illinois, Wisconsin. I say it how I say it. Y'all watching my live. Talking about the S is silent, Illinois. Girl, don't tell me what the hell. Watching from NYC. Okay, we got NYC checking in. Y'all check in. Where y'all from? Illinois. What else we got? We had London on here too. They have put that London flag. No, we're not in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We are in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Oh, they from Milwaukee. Oh yeah. Pleasant Prairie gonna be waiting on y'all last. Yeah. So y'all about to go looting? No, we're not really gonna go looting. We just be playing. Y'all be taking us a little bit too serious when we saying stuff. Y'all listening too hard for shit. Just to tell the next motherfucker what's going on. Y'all not even here to know what the fuck going on. So, as I said, we just be talking shit, playing.
Hey, y'all got a lighter?
I ain't got no lighter. I don't got no lighter. Yeah, K-City crazy, going crazy. With a K. I get this shit really tatted on me. K-City crazy with a K. Like what? Which one on 88th? Which one what y'all talking about? Oh, KCDC?
That PO outfit's right there. Burn that bitch down.
Oh, baby. Ooh, what the fuck was that? Where'd it go?
Look, you see me right.
I'm like, where'd it go? Where the fuck it go?
Still ain't heard a pop.
Right. Oh, that was a smoke bomb. My mom talking about stop all that cussing. My bad, Mom. I swear, y'all, I'm finna be in so much trouble when
I'm finna be in so much trouble with my PLC.
Girl, because I was told to go home.
I'm in there like, is that about to blow up?
Yeah, I'm smelling like I'm smelling gas, but I don't think that's what I'm smelling. I don't know what I'm smelling. It's like something. Where y'all from? Check in. Where y'all from? Milwaukee checking in. Minnesota checking in. Naperville, Illinois checking in. West Texas checking in. Zion, Illinois checking in. West Bend checking in. Ohio, Chicago, Georgia, Tennessee. All right, everybody check in. Where y'all at? Where y'all from? How y'all seeing it? What's that? What's that? What he got? Minnesota, Tennessee. Minnesota, shit. Let me see. Kenosha, Ohio.
They trying not to get shot. Look at
Colombia, Germany, motherfuckers in Germany watching this shit. Paris, France. What the hell? Yeah. Bitch, I'm saying, bitch, who beating you up? Who beating you? Yeah, I could definitely feel that fire from here too. It's warm as fuck. It's warm. Milwaukee, Wauwatosa. My mom is watching my live right now. Milwaukee, what happened? So an unarmed black man was killed once again, and this time it was in K-Town City crazy, and we out here going crazy for our city. Somebody's in Mexico checking in, Indiana checking in, Florida checking in, Diesel trucks won't blow up. It's not flammable. That's why they use them to block off streets. Oh! They said they don't blow up. That's why they use them to block off streets, because they can't blow up. They can't have big explosions. All right, thanks for the info. That's helpful, because we sure didn't know. We are in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Hey, Alaska, Baltimore, North Korea. Oh, Lord. We got North Korea checking in, y'all. Germany. Go back to where the cops at. I'm not going nowhere near the police. There go that one, what's the name? The ops.
My son, bitch, I ain't done turning my son's birthday at midnight, bitch. I got blessed me.
She said I was blessed August 24th. Hey, y'all. Y'all ain't just peep. I gotta pause this fucking line because I just really peeped on some, like, nah, bro. Y'all ain't just see who that was in that car? Nah, let me put the live down.
You seen that bitch ass too.
Huh? Hey.
Hey, get a piece of wood and block the tires. Get a piece of, yeah. What the hell is that sticker gonna do?
So we're watching, you guys are watching there's threats to streamers. So far I only know me and CJ, and we're fine. The police even looked at us with the light and told other people that were filming next to us to leave, but we were fine because we have the press identification. I got it. I know the rules. Yep. I'm from Minneapolis. I know the rules. Okay. All right. Yep. I just don't want you on the there. So, CJ's right down the street a little further. I don't know where CJ went.
That bitch gonna blow up. Nah, that wood gonna burn. Nice one.
So, yep, since day one, so you guys are lighting the trailer on fire, it appears.
Turn around.
I think we need to reblock. We need to reblock on the other side.
I'm being mindful.
Man, dude, I ain't been before shit
I know I've been trying to duck and dodge from cameras all night, bro.
I
don't have my mask.
Man, I literally checked every Honda over that thing. I ain't checked that Honda right there. Look at my car right there.
You got your own car over there, bro?
I got my car parked. This a free.
We got two nice
Damn.
See what I know. What they're doing. See what they're doing. That one right there, right? They're fucking all cars up in there right now. All cars right now. See, some people are okay with being on camera, some aren't. You gotta just be mindful, you guys, in these situations. At least ask permission.
Yeah, I was about this bitch.
There we go.
Push one of them holes in the road. Hey, I better get that handprints all over. Yeah, it's on that pipe. Get that pipe.
Ooh, someone's smoking some stanky.
Hey, he said that green one. Fuck smoke. Stay safe, though. Fuck smoke. We're on the gas, bro. Don't get real. Stay safe, though. Yeah, what the? Hey, fuck smoke. Don't come off.
But do y'all see that sign? Do y'all see the sign?
That's what the first day. Oh, hell yeah.
Damn, bro. Give me a headlight.
This dude's gonna wake up mad as hell in the morning and find out that's his damn car lot. Yo, shout out to my boy Simmin1D, hooking up all them views. SIMMIN1D. Hit him up on Twitch.
Be calling it night soon because I'm running out of juice.
I feel that.
I might go live for whatever.
Shit, they not shooting at us. Y'all don't even